T-bills are ultra short-term US Treasury bonds from the US government. In this video, we'll check out the best T Bills ETFs to buy Treasury bills. First is SHV, the iShares Short Treasury Bond ETF. SHV holds T-bills with maturities of 1 year or less. Its weighted average maturity is about 5 months. This fund has over $20 billion in assets, likely simply because it is the oldest fund on this list. SHV has an expense ratio of 0.15% and seeks to track the Barclays Capital US Short Treasury Bond Index. Next up is BIL or BIL, the Spider Bloomberg Barclays 1 to 3 month T Bill ETF. BIL goes shorter than SHV and holds Treasury bills with maturities between 1 month and 3 months. Because BIL has the name recognition in this space and has been around since 2007, it has over $30 billion in assets. BIL has an expense ratio of 0.14% and seeks to track the Bloomberg Barclays 1 to 3 month US Treasury Bill Index. Third on the list is GBIL or GBIL, the Goldman Sachs Access Treasury 0 to 1 year ETF. Think of GBIL as basically a cheaper version of SHV, holding T-bills with a time to maturity of less than 1 year. The fund seeks to track the FTSE US Treasury 0 to 1 year Composite Select Index and has an expense ratio of 0.12%. GBIL has a little over $5 billion in assets. Next up is TBLL, the Invesco Short-Term Treasury ETF. Like SHV and GBIL, TBLL from Invesco also holds T-bills with less than a year left to maturity. It's newer than the other funds already discussed, with only about $1.7 billion in assets, but it's also cheaper with an expense ratio of 0.08%. The fund seeks to track the ICE US Treasury Short Bond Index. TBLL previously traded under the ticker CLTL and used to be named the Invesco Treasury Collateral ETF. Fifth on our list is SGOV or SGOV, the iShares 0 to 3 month Treasury Bond ETF. SGOV from iShares launched in May 2020. It is similar to BIL, holding T-bills with maturities less than 3 months. SGOV used to be the cheapest option on this list, but its fee waiver expired, so it now has a fee of 0.09%. Not the cheapest, but still a great option. This fund has nearly $24 billion in assets. I covered SGOV specifically in a separate video here. Next on the list is TBIL or T-bill, the US Treasury 3-month bill ETF. TBIL launched in 2022 and plainly holds 3-month T-bills, making it very similar to SGOV and BIL, though it costs more at 0.15%, which I think sort of makes it obsolete, but it has nearly $4 billion in assets. TBIL seeks to track the ICE B of A US Treasury Bill 3-month Index. Number 7 is CLIP or CLIP, the BOXX 1 to 3 month T Bill ETF. CLIP from BOXX is the newest fund on the list, having launched in mid-2023. As such, it is the least popular with only about $500 million in assets. However, it is one of the most affordable ETFs for T-bills with an expense ratio of 0.07%. CLIP provides plain vanilla exposure to 1 to 3 month T-bills by seeking to track the Solactive 1 to 3 month US T-bill index. Next up is XHLF, the BondBloxx Bloomberg 6-month Target Duration US Treasury ETF. XHLF is the cheapest T-bills ETF on the list with a fee of only 0.03%. It's pretty young, having launched in late 2022, and BondBloxx is certainly not a household name, but the fund's low fee has attracted over $1 billion in assets in its short lifespan thus far. XHLF holds Treasury bills with maturities less than 1 year to aim for a target duration of 6 months, making it a bit longer than most of the other funds on this list. Appropriately, its index is the Bloomberg US Treasury 6-month Target Duration Index. Last on the list is BOXX or BOXX, the Alpha Architect 1 to 3 month BOXX ETF. The name should hint to you that this fund aims to resemble 1 to 3 month T-bills, but it's important to note right off the bat that in doing so, BOXX doesn't actually hold any T-bills at all. It uses complex derivatives to synthetically extract a return resembling the risk-free rate of 1 to 3 month T-bills, but in a much more tax-efficient manner than the other funds discussed here, because it aims to avoid distributions and to convert income to capital gains. So while it's not a true T-bills ETF in the purest sense, it would have been remiss to not include it on this list. BOXX has a fee of 0.19%. You're probably curious how BOXX is able to work its magic and what that might mean for your tax bill, or lack thereof. Click here to watch my video on the fund where I explain all that. While you consider doing that, pause the video here to look over this comparison chart that summarizes the highlights of these funds we've discussed. Which one one is your favorite? Let me know in the comments.